Hello friends! Welcome to Squaird Plans, where creative planning and organization comes to life. I'm Stephanie, and today we're going to be setting up the month of April in my monthly memory planner. We'll decorate a monthly spread and a currently page in my classic Happy Planner setup, so come plan with me. And I've got some washi tapes here all ready to go, along with some various writing utensils, this Happy Planner sticker book, and these Planything sticker books, which I'll pull from. Okay, you guys, let's go ahead and lay down some wax paper to get started on the design. I am reusing some older wax paper. I've pretty much ran out. I'm going to wait to buy some until we've moved, so you're going to see this kind of roughed up wax paper. It's probably past its prime, but we're going to use it anyway. So I have an idea for this layout and theme, and I really want to use these pink blossom florals from the pressed floral sticker book from the Happy Planner. I was thinking cherry blossoms, spring, and thought that this might be a way for me to do that since I don't think I have any other floral stickers that quite fit the bill. So we're going to try to make some cherry blossom branches just using these standalone florals and a little bit of creativity. I'm going to drop them in. There are 2 pages of these florals, one in a slightly smaller size and then 1 page full of larger ones. I think I'm going to save the large ones for the currently page and just focus in on the smaller ones here on the monthly since there's not a ton of room to play with. I wasn't real sure if I wanted to do like a washi tape branch idea or draw it in or what. So that is on my mind and I'll figure out what I want to do here in a second. I'm going to grab out some of this black lettering from the fun alphabet sticker book and just write the word bloom. I'm not real sure where I want to put it just yet, so I'm going to try a few different things. And I kind of like it vertical, but I don't know. The balance wasn't quite right. It just didn't fit how I really wanted it to fit there. I think just mainly because of the decoration on the letters, it made it feel like it wasn't purposeful having it vertical. So I went ahead and put them together normally in a horizontal fashion. And I just like the look of that better. So we're going to do that, and I'll just drop it up here in the top. There's 1 empty day at the front of April there, and then there's 4 empty days at the end of the month. So just try to take advantage of that space. I use the monthly for memory keeping. I basically write a memory in each day, so I do like to have those days pretty open for writing in the memory. So I keep the decor outside of that functional space and am trying to plan around that. All right, so I've laid down the basis of things, and then I was looking at what boxes I was going to use on this and realized that I didn't have what I really wanted as far as the colors. They were either too orange or too pink for most of the boxes that I was thinking to pull out of the pastel sticker book. So I ended up gravitating towards this really soft pale pink, and I thought that that matched the best with the florals and gave me enough that I could use those on the following page, the currently page. However, the washi tape that I pulled wasn't quite the right color pink, so then I went back into my stash and grabbed another pink that was a little bit closer. And I think I have now a good plan of action here. So I've got this dot washi tape and I'm just dropping it in. Some of it was already pre-cut into half-size strips. I'm just using those to line the bottom of some of these boxes here in the functional area. Not taking up too much room, but it gives a little extra something there in and within the month. So since I had that pre-cut, I'm going to go ahead and do the same with the pink washi I decided to use, just to layer that in and add a bit more color, again, in that monthly area. I do feel like using odd numbers of things works best. So right now I have 4 strips of washi on the various weeks. I think I need to add a 5th. So I'll go ahead and first lay in these 4, and then I'll make one more for that very top week just to make the numbers odd. Odd numbers definitely tend to look better overall when you use those in your spreads. 3s, 5s, 7s. And so just something to keep in mind when you are looking for a more organic look. Odd numbers definitely work best. Just moving some things around now and getting the feel for how to balance out these washi tapes. I'm pretty much just skipping every other week on each side to, again, kind of balance things out. I think we're at the point where we're ready to move things over. Wasn't sure the process that I was going to do here, but I think what I need to do is to lay the florals in first, and then I'll go and figure out what I'm going to do about these branches. I don't think the washi tape is going to be worth my time, mainly because just trying to cut it out and make it feel as part of the florals as opposed to just behind them will be really challenging. So I think drawing this in will make it a little bit easier, specifically because these are paper stickers. I can draw right up to the edge of the florals, and there's no transparency, so I can't put them on top of something and have that show through the background. So I've penciled in my first attempt at a branch. And now I am going to kind of prepare the other areas for dropping in the rest of these florals. The way I'm going to do that, I'm going to white out the black lines in the empty days. Just kind of clean those areas up in preparation. And I'm just using a Jelly Roll white pen for that. I think that the gray lines really melt into the background pretty well, but those black lines tend to pop out. So I just want to make sure that those are invisible no matter what ends up being placed near it. Okay, so let's start off with the washi tape while we're waiting for those areas to dry. And I will put in this left side first, cleaning up the edges as I go. Some of them I'll trim blunt, and some I will leave ragged. We'll see what looks best. I didn't want it to be too uniform in look, so I started to alter the size and the positioning of them a little bit more. So like I said, it wasn't too uniform. I do like having the pink layered on top though, as you can see, and the dot on the bottom. I think for some reason that just looked a little bit better than having them the other way. So something I'll think about as I'm laying in any other washi for the theme. Okay, so let's lay in the rest of these florals down here at the bottom. Preparation there. And I will trim off and save any excess pieces that I can maybe use to fill out some of the other areas. And you can see how I might do that there. Let's go ahead and place a few more here in the top left. Again, thinking of keeping things in odd numbers, you can see that there are 3 areas that I am focused in on with the decor. And then I'm just dropping in the quote and making some adjustments. I'll drop in the sidebar and then also trim off any excess and reuse those where I can. Okay, so I think I've got a majority of those items in now. Let's pencil in a branch for these florals to sit on. Definitely starting off with pencil, because if I had freehanded this, it would have looked really weird. So I pencil it in and then make adjustments as I see it needs, and then I'll go back in and use my pen to fill it in. I wasn't real sure how I wanted this branch to look either. I was thinking about originally the black washi tape kind of being the branch, and then as I mentioned before, I just felt like that wasn't going to work that well with these paper stickers. So now I'm thinking I will use my black pen to draw in the branch. I'm also a little bit worried that it might be very dark, so we'll see. I'll start with the outline, and then once I get the outline in, I'll reassess and see what else I want to do here. And the good thing about this is that I can actually draw right on the paper sticker, like I said, right up to the edge of the floral. That makes it really look a lot more seamless than if I was bound to the edge of the sticker, which has a white border on each. Dropping in the last of the washi tape up here as well. I think we're good there. I did see that that branch needed a bit of an adjustment, so I went back and redrew part of the branch and whited out the part that didn't look quite right. And that was good too, because the outline was a lot easier to white out than if I had colored it in. Now I'm just going back through and finishing out the other areas, outlining those. Just getting a feel for how this is going to look. And honestly, I could have left it like that, but it just felt like there was a lot of lines and a little bit too much detail, leaving it just outlined as you're seeing here. But it's definitely a possibility if that's as far as you want to take it. But then I was thinking, okay, well, what else could we do to really help those branches stand out a bit more? And then I thought, well, I could try coloring it in with this highlighter that I pulled. Just do a little test here in the corner, see if I like that. And honestly, I ended up kind of liking the pink. It really made everything look a little more uniform as far as color. And I feel like it brought in more color. Even though I have that black outline on the branch, I felt like the additional pink really helped boost the amount of color on the spread. I did set out for this spread to be like a two-tone spread with pink and black being the main colors. But again, I felt like that additional pink really did help bring up the color factor a bit more. Now, honestly, pink is not my favorite color, but for this spread, I think it will work. It's this time of year, springtime, the cherry blossoms are always pink, so I think it does work in the end. One last thing I thought I would do is add a little bit of texture using my Tombow here, just using the fine liner tip. The size of the fine liner is just right for making small dots that are visible but not too big, just by tapping it, almost stamping it on the page. So I use that very often when I want to add just a smidge of texture to a spread. It's a good way to do so. Okay, so we've moved on to the currently page, and I'm just going to drop in a few of the boxes that I had pre-selected to use for this layout. Wasn't really finding too many large boxes that were going to work, so I have these ones in that pale pink, and I think that will do the job for tracking my TV watch, movies watched, and books read. So like I said, I have a whole page of larger pink florals that I think will work better on this page than they would have on the monthly, so I'll pull those in. I'm also going to bring in some more of the black lettering from the Fun Alphabet book. This time I'll spell out the word grow just to coincide with springtime and then the bloom on the monthly. I just think the one word type thing really works for this layout. So just figuring out where these florals are going to live. I think for this one here, I'm going to just do the one branch at the top and then use the bottom for a little bit of extra washi space. This time not breaking down the washi into smaller strips, but just using them full size and layered. That looks good. So let's go ahead and start moving things over. Let's get things laid in. I will make some adjustments that I saw needed to be made from the wax paper, particularly moving down the word grow, just so it was a little bit closer to the bottom, and the positioning of that falling petal. And then we'll just drop in these florals here at the top. Spread things out a little bit more too, so there's a bit more room for the branch here at the top corner. Again, I will pencil in the outline of the branch. Just figure out how it might look. It's a pretty simple branch, but I think it gets the job done when I draw them in. I'm just penciling it in now, figuring it out. I'm going to trim off the excess here, try to reposition that somewhere else to get some extra use out of it. I was going to put that larger piece there at the top and trim it again, but I think I need something a little more substantial here in the middle area. So I'm going to swap those two. And that looks good. Trim off the excess again. And pen in the outline of the branch. I am using my Micron in a 03 tip here. It's a fine liner that is very good for not smearing. I do like it in some aspects, but the tip of it is a little bit edgy. It's very boxy as far as the tip is concerned, so I am on the lookout for another fine liner. The things that I really like about it are that it doesn't smear and it does give you a nice fine line. But again, I have noticed that sometimes the edge of the tip is a little bit too sharp for me. So I need to look and see what else is out there. I haven't done very much investigating on fine liners. So I'll go ahead and color in the branch now with my mild liner again. That monochrome pink color, kind of tying it all together. And I'll pencil in the titles for each of these boxes so I know what I'll be tracking in them. And I'll go back in with my pen and pen that in once I've set what each box will be. And that looks good. Lastly, got to remember to add in, again, a little bit of that fine liner dot texture, just so that everything ties together. And we'll erase all those pencil marks. And then I thought I was done, but realized as I tried to drop it in my planner that the holes still need to be cleaned out. So I'll quickly do that, and once I'm done with that, you guys, we will be done, friends. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below. Also, too, go ahead and leave me a comment if you'd like to get in touch. And think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, if you'd like to see more of my videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. Bye.